Senator, thanks so much for coming on. So first to Secretary Yellen's suggestion that we tax the increase in value in assets that people own. And I think for average people, literally average people, this means real estate. So what would that mean for people who make $300,000 a year, but whose house has doubled in value? That's a lot of people. Where would they be if this became law?
Tucker, it's really pretty extraordinary. For the first time in the history of ever, President Biden and Secretary Yellen want to tax unrealized gains on inherited property. And let me explain what that means. Let's suppose you've got a young widow with 3 children. She never remarries. She goes and buys a $150,000 home to raise her kids, and she raises her kids in the home. She's not rich. She works, but her main asset, her only asset, is her home. 50 years later, she dies. As a result of inflation and appreciation over 50 years, her $150,000 home is now worth $1.75 million. She leaves her home to her kids. Under current law, her kids would not have to pay any income tax on that home if they didn't sell the property. They wouldn't have to pay any inheritance tax either, but that's a separate issue. But under the Biden-Yellen rule, those kids would automatically be taxed on the full value of the home, whether they sold it or not. Now, it's a little more complex than that, but the point is, those kids are not going to have the money to pay the taxes. So they're going to be forced to do a fire sale on the home that their mom worked for just to pay the taxes. And the United States has never done this. Never. This is going to affect millions and millions of middle-class Americans. It's going to maul the real estate market and the market for other long-term assets. And I guess the moral of the story is this is what happens. This is what happens when you have a president and a Treasury Secretary who are on a mission from God to please pink-haired wokers who carry around Ziploc bags of kale. This is what happens when you have a president and a secretary who want to tax, spend, and regulate America into neo-socialism.
Yeah. Well, especially since we're not funding the government with tax revenue anyway, because thanks to Janet Yellen, we've been funding the whole thing with fake money printed by the Federal Reserve. So why tax anybody anything at this point? The whole thing is punitive, honestly, as you know. Anyway, Senator Kennedy, I appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.